Welcome to another edition of Beer for Breakfast ABV at 91x.com. Nice to have you join us again. And today we're joined by the North Park Brewery Company. Very nice to have you guys here. And it's great seeing you again, Kelly, because Kelly was here the day after Election Day and really helped glaze everything over with a delicious ice cream beer concoction.
Yes.
And I still remember that, and that was the best part of my day. So thank you very much, Kelly. Kelly Legan is joining us, everyone, the event coordinator with the North Park Brewing Company. And to my right, Kelsey McNair, everyone, the founder and head brewer at the North Park Beer Company. Welcome, nice to have you here.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
We got producer Danielle here, as well as Paul Segura from the Carl Strauss Brewing Company, everyone. And we're going to try a couple of beers that you guys have brought ahead of your first anniversary event, which is happening on August the 12th. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But so, Kelsey, you have been working for a long time in the video game industry here in town?
Yeah, I had been for 16 years, and brewing was a hobby of mine, and took it very seriously to the point where I said, well, you know, my passion is different now, and this is the road that I want to take. So.
And all of your former colleagues are all going, hey, do you have any gigs over there? I'd really love to do that.
Well, they do stop by the brewery from time to time and enjoy a pint or two. So.
I believe it. That's got to be better than coding all day long, right?
I was actually an artist, so I wasn't coding so much. Yeah, did 3D art, so.
So 16 years, did you start when you were 12 or something?
Whoops. You and your wife design a lot of you designed the banner and also the logo.
We hired a great graphics design firm to kick us off, but my wife has done most of the brand preservation, if you will, moving forward. So.
And she was also working in that industry too.
Yes, she was also an environment artist. Yeah, we worked for Sony Online.
Well, both of you guys are really talented. Well, pretty cool.
Thank you.
They are.
And Kelly, it's
lucky.
good to see you again, like I was saying. And it sounds like you were having a good day jogging the other day, so
Yes.
you get to burn a lot of that beer off.
Absolutely,
which
you
is
have
good.
to.
Yeah.
This industry's tough.
Yeah.
We're forced to drink all the delicious beer all the time.
Yeah, between beer and ice cream and all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know, it's just like,
And we're going to try that's a cool growler, man. Check that out. So we're going to try the Covington Ale.
Covington Cream Ale, yes.
Now, being from Western New York, is there any sort of heritage to cream ale there or anything like that?
You know, when I was growing up at all of the, get-togethers, barbecues and whatnot, I always saw Genesee Cream Ale around. So I was aware of the beer, but, I may have had a sip, at the age of 6 or 7, but we moved away from New York, early in my life, so.
oh, you can smell the cream, like, almost instantly. This smells like a cream soda.
Oh, you put some vanilla in it?
No, there's no vanilla in this.
No?
So this is a very traditional cream ale. We're kind of taking cream ale back to the roots. It's got 6-row barley,
Nice.
2-row barley, flaked maize, and some corn sugar. We get a nice little floral note to this beer from some Hallertau Middlefru. So
is ale yeast fermented cold, or?
Yeah, we start this one cool, in the low 60s.
Okay.
And yeah, it gets up to 67. So, but it makes a nice clean.
Can hardly wait. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
And congratulations on your upcoming first anniversary. That's
1
great
year,
news.
awesome.
Can't believe it's already been a year.
Ooh, I can smell the corn in there.
Yeah, it's got like a nice little sweet corn to it. We actually just got a gold for this at the San Diego International Beer Festival.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yes.
Very nice.
That's tremendous. That's great.
I can see why. It's super clean.
Yeah, I mean that's what this beer's all about. It can't hide any flaws,
Right, yeah.
It has to.
A lot of people don't realize it takes more talent as a brewer to make the lighter beers clean and crisp
I totally agree. Yeah.
than it does, the big double IPAs and whatnot.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nuance and balance is very critical to something like this. And I feel like cream ale as a name is a bit of a misnomer because it's not particularly creamy. And everybody who comes in has had Cali creaming from Mother Earth, and so they're always like, oh, this is not what I expected at all, and so it kind of comes with some sort of an explanation every time you
Right,
pour
yeah.
it, so.
And then you have to educate people on the style and all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Where does this style come from?
Well, so this was, early 1900s. This was sort of the style that was trying to be an easier beer to make than a lager. So, a lot of the early American breweries were trying to shorten their cycle, and so this was kind of the answer to that. It's still very light, crisp, and refreshing, and sort of in the American Pilsner style, but it's an ale, so they could turn these beers over in a much faster timeline.
So Kelly, when you're out at events, is that exactly what you tell people? And
Absolutely.
they're like, okay.
Verbatim, word for word, every single one of them. No, but events, I mean, this beer kills it at
No
events,
doubt.
especially when it's hot and you've got those
yeah.
San Diego's,
Right.
really warm days and everyone brings IPAs. Everybody.
Yeah.
So it's nice that people are like, oh my gosh, this isn't an IPA, this is amazing. And we've
Right.
had people just sit at our tent
And just drink this
and
for
drink
hours?
it all day. And they're like, this is the best beer at this festival. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Well, and at a 5.3, at a 5.3, it won't get you all
Exactly.
ridiculous. Like, you can have a few of these, as great flavor, and you're not, be white girl wasted walking around North Park.
Totally.
Being
Yeah.
that one.
It's just so refreshing. It's
You know what I
great.
love about it, aside from being a great beer, is that I still think, us as craft brewers are trying to gain more market share and, introduce people to craft beer that were formerly Bud, Miller, or Coors
Absolutely.
drinkers. And this is a perfect gateway beer to,
Yep.
to turn those people onto and say, look, we're making this right here in your neighborhood and it's super fresh and
Yeah,
it
that-
also pairs good with all these different foods.
Absolutely. This is one of the beers that we make 2 beers year round, which are both of the beers that I brought. But this one absolutely is, it's a beer that the uninitiated really likes. And then those who are, I don't know, we get industry that comes in and they just want Covington.
Yeah.
It's like they'll sit at the bar and they'll drink 2-3 pints of Covington. And,
Yeah.
So I love the fact that it, covers so much ground,
Yeah.
within all of our
It appeals to
beer drinking
everybody.
public. Yeah.
Is there a reason for the name Covington?
Yes, actually. So North Park, is a neighborhood in San Diego with a lot of history. There are a couple of coffee table books that were written by a gentleman named Don Covington. He's passed by I think about 7 years or so. But this being sort of a historic American style, and trying to be a traditional interpretation of it, I thought that it was, a nice place to pay respect to somebody who cared about the history of North Park, which, kind of the same time period that North Park was being heavily developed was when these beers, kind of came into their own. So, yeah.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, one of these days Ken Kramer will have his own beer, right? But here's to you, Mr. Covington. This is a delicious beer.
Thank
and
you.
it is
Yeah.
super light. And as Danielle was saying, you can enjoy quite a bit of this with friends and have a good time and still wind up making your date in the evening. So.
Right, yeah. So whatever mental faculties you had before the drinking session, they're still going to kind of be there.
Well, and with that, let's move on to the West Coast style IPA that
Sure.
you brought
Absolutely.
along. Now, this is the Hop Foo IPA.
Yes.
This is my favorite IPA in all of North Park.
Is that right?
No,
Wow.
this is
Yeah?
like my favorite IPA in all of
That's
North
awesome.
Park.
Oh.
It's delicious.
Just North Park, though? Come on.
Well, I mean, come on. There's a lot. There's a lot
There
out
are a
there.
lot.
There's a lot out
All
there.
right, all right.
Being a fan of Kung Fu fans, I'm very, very curious to hear about the inspiration of this beer.
Okay, well, the inspiration for this beer was like every great IPA I was drinking as a home brewer and just trying to figure out the balance, like what makes, West Coast IPA, tick. And it uses, the homebrewed version used 7 different hops. I've since backed it down to 6, but it's a blend of Simcoe, Amarillo, there's some Chinook in there, there's Citra, there's Centennial,
Smells so good.
CTZ.
Oh, man.
So it's just this whole melange of hops from all over the spectrum. So you get the citrus, you get the tropical notes, you get the dank notes. It's piney. It's just it kind of hits all the points. And I had a lot of success with this beer as a home brewer. Took home several national gold medals at the National Homebrewers Competition. So very proud of this one.
It's so good. I just took a whiff and it was like the clouds opened up.
Yes.
And it's like
Yeah.
a unicorn came through right to my
That was pretty
nostrils.
remarkable.
The name's kind of a fun one. When I was first homebrewing, a friend of mine was also kind of getting into it at the same time. And he's like, I'm going to brew a double IPA. I'm like, all right, well, I've got one going. I'm like, maybe we can get together and compare notes afterward. And so for some reason, he decided that dry hopping was a bad idea, and in a double IPA, I mean, that's kind of required.
Yeah.
And so, we crack our bottles and we're pouring them, and just before he even takes a sip, he can smell the aroma jumping out of the glass from mine, and he's like, your hop fu is way better than mine, like just from like like a kung fu perspective. So I was like, I'm gonna name a beer that someday, and well, here you go.
Do you hop burst the heck out of this? Because it's got a lot of hop flavor.
Yeah, so this gets hit really hard at the end of the, in the whirlpool. So, and there's a 15-minute edition too, but it's and a 30. So, we've got Simcoe and Amarillo kind of mixed in the boil, and then all the hops that I mentioned go in at the end. There's a first word of Chinook, which I think adds a nice grabbing bitterness. It bites you a little bit, and that's what you expect in a West Coast IPA. So.
Well, cheers, Grasshopper. Let's give us a try.
Grasshopper. Hop chain cane.
Cheers. So I have to ask, your tasting room is beautiful, and it's not like many of the other tasting rooms in San Diego. Where did the inspiration for that building come from?
Well, I mean, kind of back to the thing about North Park, being a historic craftsman-style neighborhood. If you get into the neighborhood outside of the commercial district, you see all these wonderful, arts and crafts homes that, if you manage to get inside them, have all this just amazing woodwork. A lot of I live in an old craftsman bungalow, and it still has all the built-ins. And I was just thinking, I'm like, nobody gets to see this part of North Park. People come to North Park to eat and drink, but they don't get in there, and they don't understand what the residences are about. And so I said, well, I really want the tasting room to feel like the homes, and give people a taste of this craftsman style that, is, I don't know, it's just, I think it's overlooked. So that was really the inspiration, was to
beautiful
give people that. So.
Or like the first day I walked in there, and I was like, because in such anticipation for it to open, and like kept watching for it, and then when it opened, I remember walking in and just being like, this was worth the wait, because it's beautiful inside, and your staff is incredibly knowledgeable too. Like any question you have about beer at all, they will sit there and take the time to explain everything.
Absolutely.
So they're really, really fantastic also.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we definitely pride ourselves in having a very well-educated staff that can speak to all the beer that we serve and all the beer that we make. Trying to keep them up to date with what we're doing and how we're doing it as much as we can. So, thanks.
That's important, because we have a cream ale, we have a Scottish session, we have a lot of odder styles that not everyone's brewing, and so it's really important that we have staff that can speak to that and like actually explain it, which is nice.
And that's great that the interior of your tasting room is sort of designed like those craftsmen. That's very, very California. That's very, very San Diego, if you
Definitely.
address that. Very, very North Park. And that's great that you take a little bit of the heritage of North Park and apply that to your beers. That's great.
Yeah, we a lot of the beer names end up being a reflection on something in the neighborhood. Some things are more personally anecdotal, like Hop Fu, but a lot of our beers are named after streets or people who were relevant in the neighborhood at one point in time. Historically. So yeah, we're trying to pay homage as much as we can.
Yeah. Now the address is 3038 University, and Kelly, first anniversary event's coming up on August the 12th.
It is, yes, we're so excited, super excited. So we're doing an IPA festival because this is San Diego,
Right.
and why not showcase the Mighty Hop, because it's everybody's favorite ingredient.
Absolutely.
So we're getting together with a bunch of our brewery friends and neighbors and basically getting a huge IPA list going. So we have a VIP session that's going to run from 11 to 1 during that day. So tickets are $25. Super approachable. You get a glass, you get a pin, you get 4 tasters for IPAs. So
Nice.
yeah.
And you get to hang
and
out
early
with you guys.
access to the mezzanine level that we have. So we're going to have special rare stuff up there. So it's good.
And what time is this going on from?
The VIP session's from 11 to 1, but it's going to be all day long.
Okay.
So
Yeah, and it's kind of pay as you go. So if you don't participate in the VIP session, you can come in, you get a glass, a pin, and 1 taster, and then you can buy more tasters all day long. So so it'll be a
August 12th, get on it.
yep.
yes.
Now the website is northparkbeerco.com or northpark.beer. When did the .beer domain come around, right? That's great.
Yeah, I got an email about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to get that. So
Yeah.
Scoop it up right away.
Oh, yeah, definitely sign up for that. Okay, so the first anniversary event's on August the 12th. We tried the Covington Cream Ale and also the Hop Foo IPA, which is dynamite, 7.5% ABV. Kelly, great to see you again. Thanks for coming back. Good
Thank
seeing
you. Thanks for having us.
Kelsey McNair, good to have you here.
thank you so much.
And congratulations on your first anniversary and some terrific beers with
Thank
North
you.
Park Beer Company. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to August the 12th.
Yes.
So make sure you check out other editions of Beer for Breakfast ABV and the radio edition of Beer for Breakfast. You can find out all those archives at 91x.com. Give it up one more time for North Park Beer Company. Doing it right in North Park. Thanks very much, you guys. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Cool.
Cheers. Hey, wait a second.
Hey.
It's glug delicious.